Hello and welcome back. How are you doing? I am doing okay. I have tried to film this like multiple times. I've gotten the verse wrong every time. I don't know what's happening. Just a lot is going on. We're gonna get it right this time though. We are. And even if we're not, this is the final time. So we're just gonna upload this, call it a day, because yeah. If there's any mishaps, it's all staying in. It's okay. It'll be fine. We're good. Anyways, so this is encouragement, not only for other people, but this is also for myself too. But just for anybody out there that needs the encouragement. This is about not growing weary of doing good or in doing good. I don't know about anyone else. I'm sure other people can relate to this, but there have been a lot of times in my life where I have felt like, what is the point? What is the point of continuing to do what is right, to do good? It almost can seem as though you are getting punished for doing good or for doing what is right, and for remaining on, this path in your life. And those that are not doing what is right or not doing what is good or whatever, it can seem as though they're being rewarded. And it can kind of feel like, well, what's the point of staying on this? Like, what is the point of continuing doing good? Going out of my way when it kind of seems like you're constantly being screwed over all the time for just doing what is right or what is good, and it's exhausting when you feel like that. I was using the example of, like, at my job, I work a lot of hours at my job. I work like 12 to 13 hour shifts, and but I show up, right? Like, I show up to work. I don't like to call out. I only call out if I have to call out, or if I'm like extremely exhausted and I just need like an extra day to recover or something. But I call out normally when I have to call out. And it's like, you can show up every day, you can come in on your scheduled days, you aren't calling out of work, you're doing your job, you're coming in and not complaining, and you're doing a good job. But then it can feel like you're being punished, because they're like, okay, great, thank you for finishing, and thank you for showing up, thank you for coming in, thank you for finishing your work, and you've already worked 10 hours, but here's more work on top of that. And it almost feels like you're being punished. It feels like you're being punished for doing a good job. It feels like you're being punished for showing up to work because other people aren't showing up to work, or because other people, aren't doing their job or whatever. And it can feel like, what's the point? Like, I might as well just be a person that just calls out all the time, because screw this. You know what I mean? I don't know why am I saying screw? I never say the word screw. I don't know what the flip I'm saying screw. But like, it's, yeah, you can kind of like think like, what is the point of me coming in, doing my job, showing up to work every day, barely calling out? What is the point when I just get bombarded with more work put on me all the time? And other people, it's not like that, because they're calling out, or they're leaving early, or they're doing this, or they're doing that. And the people that actually stay and that actually care and that actually, work, are the ones that get bombarded with the most amount of work. And it ends up just being exhausting. And it kind of just, yeah, it's like, why am I doing this? And you almost want to kind of turn to the other side and be like, you know what, I should just say, like, yeah, like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gonna call out. I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of can seem like easier doing the opposite of what you're doing You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense. And that's no shade or no tea to my coworkers. I love all my coworkers, and I totally get it. Like, if y'all need to call out, I understand, because I work the same job that they work, so I know how exhausting it is. I know how tiresome it is. I know how it feels to be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm being toyed around by this place, you know, and you're exhausted. And if you like, when you feel like you need to take that extra day off, I totally get it. I'm not like coming for any of my coworkers. I love them. What I'm saying is, for those people that do show up and for those people that do their job, it kind of can seem like you're being punished for coming in to work, because there's no reward. It's not like, oh, you know, you show up to work and you do this, you do that, you come in, you don't complain, and you just do your work. And then you just get to go home. You get to go home early because you came in, you know, you're getting a reward. You come into work, you don't call out, you do this, you do that, and, you know, once you're done your work, you get to go home. It's like, no, you do everything and you're done your work. Now you get more work on top of that, and then more work on top of that. And then when you think you're done, you're not done, because you're going back out. You know what I mean? It's like that, and it gets exhausting. So that was my example, but just, you know, I'm sure we can all think of something personal in our own personal lives outside of work, where even just like a lifestyle where it's like you are constantly doing the right thing. You're constantly doing good. You're going out of your way for the people. And it almost can seem like you just feel like you're getting spit in the face, or like life is just attacking you, or you're being punished for doing what is right. You're being punished for doing good. And those who are not doing what is right, they are prospering, and their paths are like smooth, you know? And for others, it can seem like an uphill battle. You know what I mean? So yeah. So this is Galatians 6:9. Hopefully I read the right verse this time. So it says, don't get tired of doing what is good. Don't get discouraged and give up. And this is the part. For we will reap a harvest of blessing at the appropriate time. Whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially to our Christian brothers and sisters. I love that. I love that. So don't get tired of doing what is good. Don't get discouraged and give up, for we will reap a harvest of blessing at the appropriate time. Whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially to our Christian brothers and sisters. And this isn't saying that we should be doing good so that we can reap the benefits of doing good. We should do good because God calls us to do good. But we shouldn't grow weary in doing those good things just because of what our eye can see. You know, our eyes can only show us so much, and we only know so much of the story, which is of our own story, which is basically like nothing. You know, because hold on, I just lost my train of thought. Our eyes can only see so our eyes can only see so much. Like, we don't know what is ahead of us. I was just reading in James where it says, dear brothers and sisters, whenever troubles come your way, let it be an opportunity for joy, for when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be strong in character and ready for anything. And so basically what I'm trying to say is, you know, our eyes can only see so much. We only know so much of the story and what is going to happen. And because of that, we don't know what lies ahead. So if we were to give up, we're not going to reap those things that we would have reaped. if we would have just continued to do good and persevered through those times of those questions where it's like, what is the point? You know, it's not bad to ask questions of like, what is the point of this? Like, why am I doing this? But as long as you can work through that and just say like, I might not understand this, I might not get what's happening, even though I'm trying, I'm putting in the work, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm trying to please God, I'm trying to do what God wants me to do, I'm trying to be obedient, I'm involving God in what I'm doing, I'm praying and all these different things, and I don't know why, but I'm going to continue on this path. And who knows, it could be God trying to test you, test your faith. You know, it is like it says in James, for when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be strong in character and ready for anything. Obviously, different versions say something different. I forget what it, lacking nothing. New King James says something different. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm blanking. Like something in character and lacking nothing. But anyways, yeah, these verses just really encouraged me, because there is a point in continuing to do good and to continue to not grow weary of doing the right thing. And even though we don't get the immediate gratification and we don't get the immediate like, here it is, this is the whole point of what's going on or what you're doing, this is it, we don't get it immediately, but in due time we will receive that. You know what I mean? And that to me is extremely encouraging. Oh, and then it was, hold on, let me see, another verse in Psalms. I don't know how far I'm going to read. I didn't read the whole thing, so let me see. Here it is, verse 3. So Psalm 73 verse 3, I don't know how far I'm going to read, but it says, for I envied the proud when I saw them prosper despite their wickedness. They seem to live such a painless life. Their bodies are healthy and strong. They aren't troubled like other people, or plagued with problems like everyone else. They wear pride like a jeweled necklace, and their clothing is woven of cruelty. These fat cats have everything their hearts could ever wish for. They scoff and speak evil in their pride. They seek to crush others. They boast against the very heavens, and their words strut throughout the earth. And so people are dismayed and confused, drinking in all their words. Does God realize what is going on? They ask. Is the Most High even aware of what is happening? Look at these arrogant people enjoying a life of ease while their riches multiply. Was it for nothing? Was it for nothing that I kept my heart pure and kept myself from doing wrong? All I get is trouble all day long. Every morning brings me pain. That's why I wrote this down, because I remember David being like writing about this in the Psalms, and him feeling this way of like, what is the point? He's like, was it for nothing that I kept my heart pure and I kept myself from doing wrong? All I get is trouble all day long. Every morning brings me pain. Hold on one second. If I had really spoken this way, I would have been a traitor to your people. So I tried to understand why the wicked prosper. But what a difficult task it is. Then one day I went into your sanctuary, O God, and I thought about the destiny of the wicked. Truly, you put them on a slippery path and send them sliding over the cliff to destruction. It is an instant they are destroyed, swept away by terrors. Their present life is only a dream that is gone when they awake. When you arise, O Lord, you will make them vanish from this life. Then I realized how bitter I had become, how pained I had been by all I had seen. I was so foolish and ignorant. I must have seemed like a senseless animal to you. Yet I still belong to you. You are holding my right hand. You will keep on guiding me with your counsel, leading me to a glorious destiny. Whom have I in heaven but you? I desire you more than anything on earth. My heart may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. I love that. I love that. But those who desert him will perish. You destroy those who abandon you. But as for me, how good is it to be near God? I have made the sovereign Lord my shelter, and I will tell everyone about the wonderful things you do. But it's just a reminder that even when we feel like, what is the point of us continuing to do what is right? What is the point of us continuing to do what is good? What is the point of us continuing on this path in this life? And you start to grow weary and you start to question. We have to remind ourselves and encourage ourselves. Sometimes Charles Stanley was just talking about encouraging ourselves. Sometimes we don't have people in our lives to encourage us. Sometimes we have to be our own encouragement. And sometimes, we just have to encourage ourselves and remind ourselves to look to God, to look to the Bible, to read these verses or read other verses that can kind of get us out of this negative headspace, and know that there is a reason. There is a reason for us and for doing good. There is a point. It's not pointless. It's not, I can't think of the word that I want to say, but, and the reason alone is because it pleases God, so I'm not encouraging people to do what is right and to do good because we want to reap something good. We want good in our lives. Obviously, we all want good in our lives. We want to reap something good. Obviously, none of us want to suffer. But because God calls us to do what is right, God calls us to be set apart, God calls us to do good things, But I hope that was encouraging. I really hope that the Bible verses just spoke for themselves. I want to read the Galatians 6:9 verse again, where it says, "So don't get tired of doing what is good, and don't get discouraged and give up. For we will reap a harvest of blessing at the appropriate time." At the appropriate time. So, meaning it's probably not going to be today. It could be today. But sometimes we might have to wait months, a year, years. We might have to wait a while before we actually see this paid off. But it will be worth it. I definitely have, especially recently, I have really seen it. And I'm not going to say the story just because I am going to respect privacy. But something happened last week to someone in my life, or that's come into my life recently. Not into my life, come into multiple people's lives that I know, but I met her recently, and she is such a beautiful person. She is such a beautiful person. I was watching this interview, or not interview, this podcast, and this girl was talking about how before she was saved, one of her friends now, was praying for her constantly, and she said the words like she was interceding for me. And I feel like this woman is somebody that like intercedes for me. And I don't know, there's something about her that is so special, and she loves the Lord. She invites the Lord in to everything that she does, even just like the smallest minute decisions. She invites the Lord in. And something happened that was so incredible, something that she had been praying for a while. And it was so incredible to see someone that was faithful to God, even though she did not know whether God was going to answer her prayer the way that she was praying for it to happen. She didn't know. She was in a very unknown territory where it's like it could happen like this, or it could never happen. But she was faithful to God, continuing like she is someone that, like, to me, I could say like steadfast in prayer. And to see it come into fruition, and to see God work in her life and her remain faithful, not knowing what was going to happen, not knowing how God was going to respond, not knowing how God was going to answer her prayer, is so encouraging. That if we remain faithful to God and remain faithful in doing good, then we will reap those benefits. And not just doing good and remaining faithful just so that good things can happen, but just because that is what God calls us to do. And I know it's easier said than done, obviously, but yeah, she is someone that I don't know, there's something like so special about her, and I've definitely seen it more and more as I've gotten to talk to her and gotten to know her. And her, like, just that alone is such a beautiful testimony of the faithfulness of God, because I felt like I was hearing a lot of horrible things, and I'm like, you know, it gets discouraging when you're hearing a lot of stories that are like, oh, this person committed suicide, this person died, this person's sick, this person's that, this person's that, you know what I mean? It's like, it's discouraging. But when you hear other stories of God answering prayers and still remaining faithful and still healing and still, like, you know, bringing life to different situations, it is really refreshing. No, it's refreshing to the soul. So, in the mind and body and spirit. But yeah, all right, that is it. I hope that was encouraging. And yeah, I am going to, I don't know, should I go food shopping now, or I have a little bit of time, so I might go home and clean I need to go to the car wash. Yeah. Okay, we gonna go to the car wash, and then I think clean, and then I need to go somewhere, and then I need to go food shopping, and then cook. And then that'll be my day. Alrighty, so adios.